You have to try this Chap Chae recipe. Often it's overlooked when we're having Korean barbecue as a side dish, but I would argue it's a definite main dish. Check it out. Let me know how you like the recipe. So first, we want to heat up our stove. We want to oil it up. I'm using canola oil. It's a high heat oil. And I'm just gonna start cooking through my bulgogi. I'm gonna make a separate video for how to marinate bulgogi. So now that it's nice and hot, I wanna put our bulgogi in the pan, just like so. I'm just gonna let that cook through. So while we're cooking the bulgogi on high heat, I wanna work on our mushrooms. So these are just beautiful shiitake mushrooms that we got on sale at 99 Ranch. I love the texture and the flavor umami-ness of the shiitake mushroom. So if you can get it at a good price, definitely get your hands on some shiitake mushrooms. They're just, out of probably all the mushrooms, they're probably my favorite type of mushroom. With the oyster mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms, being a very distant second. I'm gonna work on my carrots. I'm just gonna get them in nice thin slices. As you can see, I'm using leftover mini carrots that we just have. If you have the normal sized carrots, that works too. But whatever you can find in the kitchen works. So I'm just gonna nicely cut them in slices while our meat is going. Okay, so I think our bulgogi is about done. I'm gonna take these guys out. Again, I'm gonna make a separate video for the bulgogi. Okay, so I've now put the shiitake mushrooms in the same pan that we were cooking the bulgogi in. I'm gonna salt this a little bit to make sure that it's nicely seasoned. Just a tad bit, because most of the seasoning from this in this dish will get from the sauce. So we just want to make sure that's slightly seasoned. Now we'll work on our onions. Again, we're just gonna roughly cut them because the saute will really melt them down anyway. We want to get them nice and translucent on the saute, but this is just a rough chop. Now I see some really good browning on these. These are gonna be so delicious. I'm just gonna give one a quick taste to see where we are. Good flavor. Still needed a little bit away, but I think we're almost there. Okay, I think our shiitake mushrooms are done. These are looking really gorgeous. So back into that pot. In the same pot that's hot, I want to add a little bit more oil, and then add our onions. A little bit of salt to season. You can see that it's getting really translucent very quickly. The pan is nice and hot. We just want to watch until the edges are brown, and then we can pull them out. They're looking really good. We want to cook out the punchiness of the onion. If you've ever cut into a raw onion, that's the punchiness of the raw onion. So you just want to cut that out, and you do that by cooking it while translucent. So the pot is smoking. You just want to, if it's smoking like that, you want to, number one, lower the heat if you need to, and then number two, just kind of toss it around to make sure that you're not burning anything. And once I see some browning on that, I know that we're about 80% of the way through. I'm going to go ahead and add my spinach to wilt down. We want to just cook the onions and spinach through until the spinach are wilted. So we'll know right away. Okay, now that our spinach has wilted down, it looks like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it with the rest of the veggies. Look at our medley of veggies and protein. It's looking really delicious. And now in a bowl, I want to mix 3 eggs. And I just want to make a quick omelet with these eggs. As a nice whisk. And there you have it, just a nice quick omelet. So we're gonna take that omelet. We're just going to, careful, it's hot. Just gonna cut it up in strips and just take those same strips and just cut those in half. And now you've got yourself another addition to our Chap Chae. Glass noodles, some sweet potato glass noodles that I'm gonna throw into my bowl. Now you want these are just gonna melt right down. For the sauce, I wanna use 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce. Use 1/3 of a cup of agave. So 1 part soy, 1 part agave. You can use honey as a substitute. I think, in my opinion, honey is a bit sweeter than agave. About 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And we're gonna keep sesame oil just in the neighborhood, just in case we need to add a little bit more. And then we're gonna add, I don't know, maybe a couple of handfuls of sesame seeds, roasted sesame seeds. Some freshly grounded black pepper. Just maybe, that's it, a teaspoon will do. We're gonna mix that all together. Give it a nice taste. Oh, that's Chap Chae, baby. That is 100% Chap Chae. Now that our Chap Chae is nicely rinsed, I'm going to add that into our mixture that we've been making throughout. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of sesame oil on top of the Chap Chae noodles, just for extra lubrication. So now I'm just gonna mix all these things together. Got all of this beautiful and just amazing flavor. We're just gonna mix it through. It's just kind of like bibimbap. We didn't go into the wok for one last time. I want to just do this and kind of get this cold and then in the fridge. It's really good hot, but it's even better when it's cold. While that's happening, I'm gonna mix in the sauce. About half of the sauce. Now we just want to mix this around to make sure that it's all tossed in together. You can see all the ingredients that we just cooked through. And look at that. You have yourself, in less than maybe 20 minutes, Chap Chae. Very good when it's hot, even better when it's chilled for about, I want to say, an hour or 2. So let's put this in the fridge. That was our Chap Chae video. Thank you guys so much for watching.